Well, this one was kid approved. Brought kids to this one, not my own, because my own are older.
That's fair.
Than
If
this.
If my parents would have taken to me, this would have been still approved.
Right. So my grandkids,
Yeah.
6, 4, and 2.
That's a spread.
It is. It was fun. They loved
fun.
it. You know, they sat there and were in awe of the theater. The youngest one had not been to a theater yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The other 2 had been.
Okay.
And so they kind of knew what to expect, but you know,
What a fun
2-year-old
film to go for a
didn't.
first
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. It was
Not that they'll probably remember it much, but
yeah, no, but it was great. We've talked about it before. I love the theater experience. You know,
Yeah.
the popcorn and all
Nothing
that
beats
stuff, and the huge screens. I'm thankful for the chairs they have nowadays.
yeah.
Though. You know, not back when I was, a kid. And
My butt was being toasted while watching this film. Even in the summertime, I'll put on the heated seating just because I like how it feels.
yeah, see, I'd fall asleep every time
Yeah.
if I did that.
It puts me in a very happy place.
Yeah, I'm sure. It'd put
I even
me
had
in
popcorn watching this one.
Really?
Normally
Yeah.
I don't have popcorn.
Yeah, I'm not a big popcorn. I do like it, but I'm not like.
Sold.
Yeah, it's not one of those like I got to have it every time or
Yeah.
whatever. But we got popcorn because of the kids.
Yeah.
Kids. We demolished a good half a bag.
That's what they're supposed to do.
You know,
The
so
other half
it was
big on the
great.
ground.
Oh, they did pretty good actually.
Oh, good.
Very
Good.
impressed. Yeah,
It's impressive.
Yeah. So they were very conscious of picking up what they're
Yeah.
raised good, man. I'm telling you.
Phew.
So I know it's great. We made it easy.
Precious.
Yeah. So
Did you get to watch this Superman trailer going into it?
they did not have the Superman trailer. Was there plenty early. They had. They had. I don't know, kind of getting settled and getting them eating and drinking their soda.
I suppose.
I can't remember which ones they had, but they had Snow White.
That one looks great.
It's interesting,
Yeah.
the whole thing around that.
It is. No drama,
No,
except all of it.
yeah, that'll be. We'll have to talk about that one.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
It's
I'm going to
very
lean into
intriguing.
that one pretty hard, I
Yeah.
think, because I'm really tired of that crap. It's just they're so out of touch with reality.
Oh, 100%.
Like they're trying. It's great. You're an actor. You're not supposed to be in touch with reality a lot of the time.
No.
But don't tell the real people how it should be. I'm sorry, but don't do that.
I still haven't seen the Snow White trailer.
Okay. Yeah.
It didn't show up when I was watching the trailers that I had.
Yeah.
That was not one of them.
Yeah. So that's
I
the
know
only
the
one that I
dwarfs
really
look goofy.
watched. They look pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean the Seven Dwarfs look pretty cool.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't know. It's frustrating for sure. But Sonic
3.
We know that in this one they destroy the moon.
Yeah.
Third of it anyway.
It's based off the video games.
Yeah.
They do that.
Do they?
Yeah.
See,
This is based off Sonic Adventures #2,
okay.
if you're curious.
See, I've never done the whole gaming thing too much because I have an addictive personality.
Yeah.
And I would play video games all night,
Yeah.
every
Sonic,
night.
I enjoyed Sonic. I still preferred playing Mario because Sonic games are interesting because the idea is you're super fast.
Okay.
And so sometimes it's just hard to control.
Sure.
And I'm not patient enough to deal with like how to deal with speed.
Yeah.
And so I was always Mario first, but Sonic, the character was always interesting because you had the crew of Knuckles, you had Tails, you had Shadow. And so I think some of the villains, I like the diversity that they did in Sonic because in Mario, you only really get Bowser.
Right. No, and I played Nintendo a fair amount when I was younger, but did not have a Sega. Yeah, and I mean, good, bad, or in between. That's not my point.
Yeah.
But I learned as I became more of a teenager that I better not play video games too much.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
It's good that you had that wisdom even from that age.
yeah, I just would get sucked into it.
Yeah.
Already too often, like
Yeah.
at that age, and I was like, I gotta leave it alone.
I got other time.
Yeah. I like too many other things.
Yeah.
Basketball.
You're tall,
chasing
white
girls.
man hops.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing that's really interesting that I saw like on social media, the joke was, or like when they were doing press tours, I saw some of them, and they were talking to Keanu and said, would Sonic have a conundrum once he hears you talk and your voice is Shadow? And Keanu was like, I don't really understand the question. And well, in the first movie, the movie that Sonic comes into and really enjoys watching with the parent characters was Speed. And so there was a lot of jokes in the first one about Keanu Reeves.
Sure.
And so sure enough, he's now Shadow in the third film, and that whole dynamic. So
what do you think of the mix too of like real life?
See, that's
versus...
the thing I was talking to Megan about, and I was like, because my wife hadn't seen the first two episodes or movies going into it. I was like, really? Because we watched Mario together. Mario's all animated, so it makes sense. And she was like, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the animated real life crap. And I was like, that makes sense. Like I don't like Mufasa just came out. Have no interest in seeing that because it's a live action film. It's all CGI.
Yeah, it's
exactly. How in the world do you label this as live action?
Right. It's just a different type of cartoon.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. And so I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And but to me, I like how Sonic does it.
They do it very well.
They do it very well.
Yeah.
I told her like I feel like the Sonic franchise has done it better than any of the other universes that have done it so far. And so then we ended up watching the first two, and then we got to make fun of. Did we ever talk about in the first movie, like the first imagining of Sonic that looked terrible?
No.
Yeah. So the first trailer that came out for Sonic looked terrible.
Really?
It was awful.
Huh.
And so
Is that why they went all animated Sonic?
They must, or I mean, Sonic was still technically animated.
Oh, okay.
In the first,
so the animation itself was horrible.
Yeah, they did not look like Sonic at all, and so they redid it, and that's how we get more of this Sonic.
Sure.
So,
see, I think that it would be pretty impossible to make Sonic a CGI type character.
Yeah.
Because of just what he does.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Maybe not, but
yeah,
it's yeah. What else? Like, what did you think before we get into it?
I think this is a crazy trilogy that does the series justice of the video games. I really enjoyed it. I think each one has gotten better than the last. They keep bringing in characters that work well together and that add to the story, which is pretty impressive because a lot of concerns is, especially in sequels to sequels, is you start bringing a lot of, like Fast and Furious, we're reviewing that now, and each one brings in a new character.
Right.
And they don't kill them off.
Right.
And granted, they only really do one character per film, maybe two. So it's not like an overwhelming amount, which is good.
Yeah.
And so, I think
they can establish their character.
And their quirk, and how they're going to be established with these other characters. And so I think this series keeps getting better. And I'm impressed on how well they're able to continue. And you can see that they care about the source material and the fan base, and that's where they start with. And then, I think it's gotten wide appeal because Sonic's.
Yeah, I think I was a little surprised, I guess, that they had some of the language that they had in there.
Yeah.
But whatever, I don't know. I'm not whatever.
Yeah.
Just whatever. It is not up to me whether or not.
Right.
I don't have to make that decision. I mean, my grandkids, I asked permission to take them from their parents.
Yeah. Right.
So, but actor chemistry.
It was fun.
It was like
Keanu, Ben Schwartz, Idris Elba.
I liked Krysten Ritter's character. How they did her, the military.
Oh, yeah. The Rockwell.
Yeah.
Director Rockwell.
I'm still a little confused, to be honest with you, if she's was trying to steal.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They kind of played that very well, I thought.
They did. And they didn't. They left it open at the end, too.
Totally.
Like, they didn't.
Yeah. Yep. She very willingly handed it over.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
But at first reluctantly.
Yeah.
Like she didn't trust. They did it well.
They did.
They did very well.
Which is impressive because
it was fun.
This film goes through waves of just terrible acting.
Yeah.
Just awful. But then they have scenes like that. It's like, nope, she couldn't have asked for anything else out of that scene because it was believable.
And James Marsden.
Marsden?
Marsden.
Marsbar?
What? Who?
I said Marsbar.
Shahuda Boo?
Whatchamacallit?
Something like that. Worcestershire sauce.
Spicy.
I didn't think this was his best work.
No.
I'm not. Yeah.
He wasn't in it a ton.
No, but it also he wasn't great.
No.
I mean, he's done a lot better than this, in my opinion.
Right. Well, that's what I'm trying to get with the screen time. Like, how invested was he in this film?
Right.
Because...
Was he there for a week?
Yeah.
Type deal?
Right, and that was it.
Yeah.
because that is what it seems like to
Yeah.
me. So, which makes sense. I mean, his character really isn't. I mean, it's a whole. They poke fun of Fast and the Furious, the family. We're with a family,
Right.
so I think that's why his character is needed. But otherwise, it's not like he really adds anything to the team.
Yeah. No. I mean, it was disappointing.
Yeah.
I guess too.
I agree.
So, Idris Elba, though, I think he does a great job
He's
as
so
a voice.
funny.
Yeah.
I love Knuckles.
Yeah.
He's if you're comparing this to the Marvel universe, he's the Drax.
Yeah.
Yeah, no sarcasm, just
And that's it. That's it too. In these Sonics, this is my kind of comedy.
yeah,
These are my kind of jokes,
yeah,
man.
100%.
Yeah, I really, really like those.
And I like that they're all like kids at heart, and they tell childish jokes,
Right.
And they're unabashed about it.
Yep.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey ×2.
Yeah. That was interesting.
They made fun of that whole dynamic.
They did a lot, and that
Yeah.
was really fun and funny. But what I don't know why they made him still look the same 50 years ago when they did the flashback.
Yeah,
So his grandfather
yeah.
was still old, gray.
Well, it's a video. The thing I attributed to that was video game time does not make sense in real world time. And so oftentimes I feel like in video game flashbacks they look a little bit younger, but even like 50 years they're like you would be a lot more de-aged than what you are in this flashback scene.
Right. And that was something that I was very confused about.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't take much to confuse me.
Not at all. But I really did enjoy it. It was interesting. There was times where it was over the top, where they were we could be upfront and say, same character playing two different roles and acting with each other.
Yeah.
I think it's very difficult to do and near impossible if it isn't a comedy to do well. But I loved, I only remember his actor from Ted Lasso. His name's Danny Rojas, the Spanish soap opera.
Oh, yeah.
They were breaking the fourth wall without actually breaking the fourth wall.
Right.
It was so strange. It's about as close as you can get. But it was fun because Jim Carrey did play the two characters differently.
Yes.
And they were very unique characters. And it was interesting to see the dynamic grow as they continued on through the movie.
And in a lot of the pressers too, Jim Carrey had said how he did it for the money.
Yeah.
And he's still putting it all in.
Yeah.
He did a phenomenal job.
Right.
I mean,
that's what's crazy to me. Like he did it for the money. Like,
right?
Are you serious? Like you see other people do it for the movie. Like you don't have to tell me in the presser that you're doing this for the money because
no.
You can see you're cashed in.
Totally, and that's what I was a little bit fearful of, that it would just be kind of a mediocre job on his end, that he's like, I need a payday.
Yeah.
And here I am, and, let's run through it, and so I can get paid and go home.
Yeah.
But no, he really, there's a lot of his old...
physical actor.
Yeah. A lot of his old physical acting was really involved here.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Yeah.
I'd even say some like The Mask and even a little bit Pet Detective, kind of a couple things in there that reminded me of that. So that was fun.
Yeah.
And things. So from that perspective, I was very, very pleased. I was wondering how Keanu Reeves would do with the voice acting. I'm trying to think, has he done anything else really that I would know?
Probably.
Yeah.
But not I don't think as prominent. Not as a main character like he is.
Like here, yeah. And so I was very, very happy with how he did. That was fun. And in fact, there's a lot of times it was even hard to tell it was him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
So... but with all those things and the combination of what was going on and some of the stuff that was kind of rough around the edges, I'm still giving it a 3.9.
Yeah.
For actor chemistry, because all in all, it was very well done. They have an estimated budget of $122 million, and I guess to me, they did a lot with that.
They sure did.
I mean, $122 million still is a ton of money, obviously, but it did seem like they did very well, a lot better than what a lot of them have been doing.
I think this is going to hit $1 billion. Actually, maybe not.
No.
Sequels are hard to do that with.
Yeah.
But yeah, mine's a 4-1. I think this is good. Like you got Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, like you can tell they've had time together and know how to like react with one another. Shadow was a great addition. I loved his demeanor. It was really cool to see the flashbacks that he had to get to a softer side.
Yeah.
That explained his harder side that he is in nowadays. And like we were talking about Jim Carrey, like he's playing two different characters and he's interacting with himself. Granted, the characters are very similar, but almost that's harder at times to really distinguish the differences between the two.
Right.
And you can tell.
Yeah.
So very, very, actor chemistry is high.
Yeah. Well deserved too.
Cinematography.
I really enjoyed how they did the look of the like military base.
Yeah.
I mean, while it had a lot of the usual feel to it,
Yeah.
They added a few, different things like the kid.
Yeah.
That was kind of neat. And then it was sort of the way the reactor or whatever they called that,
Yeah.
the way that was designed and stuff. I thought that looked pretty good and was fun. Mm-hmm. I liked how they made the mustache look.
Yeah.
On the.
I mean, that's important. Yeah.
Right. On the craft that was going to destroy the world.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Some of those.
Destroying the moon.
Yeah, right. The way they made that look and things like that. And then the mixture of, I don't know how you would do the animation in a real life reality, filming, of course, but I thought they did a good job. It didn't look, all of them, they've done a good job.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's crappy stuff.
Right.
And that's good. The actors are looking in the right places at the right times.
Yeah.
And all those things that go with it. So.
The Chia world.
Yeah.
So those Chia characters are based from the video game.
Sure.
Is actually like to me, like if you again don't know the lore, that does seem very Japanese. I mean, granted, it's a Japanese
right. Yeah, Sega
funded thing.
Yeah.
But those Chia pet things were from Sonic, that Sonic universe, and so it was fun to see how they brought that into this world alongside. That whole scene was weird. Like the director guy having to come into this like children's place and then have to be like very serious.
Right.
His death scene was awful though.
Oh, I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, and so it's, the things like that when it came to like, I know we're past actor chemistry, but like there are scenes that are so good. Jim Carrey, these actors that just do a great job. And then there's scenes like that. I was like,
right. Don't even have it in there.
Yeah.
Just have it like we don't even know if he actually died.
no, we don't.
So
I'm excited to talk about death because we're going to talk about Fate of the Furious after this.
Yes.
That's a whole different conversation.
That is. That's for sure. It's heavy, man.
I liked how they set up scenes in this too because we were talking about the whole military base. It was fun to see again the girl and Shadow when they touched hands, but they set that scene up well later when Sonic touched the. So there's just things like that too that I'm like they really did think about the universe that they created and how the people within are going to interact with it.
Right.
And we sometimes talk about, some places go to too many places, and it's a detriment because we don't actually think Captain Marvel or the Marvels or whatever was the last one where they kind of just hopped around everywhere.
Yeah.
And we didn't actually get to experience the places that they went.
Right.
It very much said like these places exist to keep the story moving versus like these places exist and we're going to experience it with the characters.
Right. No, very well said.
And so I think they did that really well in this film. I like the jokes of like, oh, where do you think he is? Probably the red explosions would be a good start.
Yeah, totally my comedy.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah.
We need to watch UHF because that's just stupid.
We do have
it's
to
just
watch
stupid
that.
comedy.
Yeah.
So I gave cinematography a 4.3.
Okay.
Again, I think when it comes to animated in the real world, it is such a hard task because you got humans that are interacting with these things they can't actually see. Mm-hmm. And these things they can't actually see are the integral part to these films.
Right.
And so those actors don't believe that these characters exist, they're going to be out of the universe.
Yeah.
And so I think they did a great job with the cinematography. The actors did a good job. The only thing that I have is that sometimes when I watch Sonic's lips move or even like Keanu's lips move, it looks kind of bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know how else you do that.
Right.
Because their mouths are weird.
Right. Yeah. No. Exactly. Well, I gave cinematography a 4.0 on it because they just did a solid job. There's no question that this is probably one of the better live action animation combos that exists,
right,
that I can think of anyway.
Absolutely.
And they've now done 3 of them, been successful with it, so I think they need to keep doing what they're doing.
Well, they set it up.
Clearly they're going to have a 4th.
Metal robots.
Yeah.
Or Metal Sonic. I'm just intrigued because, again, I'm excited because sometimes, again, you get to these movies and it's just a cash grab, and I think eventually it's going to get to that place with these films because I don't know how long you can. There comes to a point where it's like, I've told the story I want to tell and we should just end it, versus like, I want to continue doing this character because I love playing it, but there's really no place for the story to go.
Right.
And so I think that's going to be coming soon, but I definitely think they still. I'm sure they're going to do, if they can get Keanu to do a Shadow spinoff. I think that would be really interesting because they did that with Knuckles.
Right. That would be very interesting, and I'd be up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never watched the Knuckles one.
No, I didn't either.
Overall entertainment, 6, 4, and 2. They were there and engaged, and they loved it. So so obviously this is a large majority of what they're going for.
Yeah.
The 6-year-old for sure. And so with that, and I was engaged.
Yeah.
I was entertained.
That's called a age group. You got a wide age group. Engaged.
Yes. And so I think that that's going to be a real plus for this universe.
Yeah.
As long as they can keep like good content coming. Otherwise,
it's going to mixes with John Wick.
No doubt.
No doubt. That's where they're headed.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I guess maybe. So overall entertainment, just with what we've talked about, Jim Carrey doing the 2 characters, that kind of the way he's able to handle that.
For a cash grab.
Mentally.
Yeah,
is remarkable, and simply just because he needed a payday.
Yeah,
but yet just knocks it out of the park. Yeah. So the entertainment, I've got to put it at a 4.4.
Okay.
For this type of genre, it's high.
Yeah.
It's probably not one of those that I would say overall in my world,
right?
It would be a 4.4, maybe a 3.4 or something in the But this kind of a genre for sure.
It's great.
Yeah.
The music was great in this as well.
It was.
I love the piano version of the main theme. I rewatched the first 2 with Megan.
Okay.
And
before you went?
No. Well, so we watched it, and then that's when I realized she hadn't seen the first 2.
Okay.
And so then we watched the first 2. And they did the piano one in the first film as well, like the version of the main theme. I was like, this is such a simple way to have the song in the universe, because like the original is definitely pretty energetic, but the piano version slows it down and makes it make more sense in the world that we're in.
Sure.
And they did, again, Sonic Adventures 2, they drew a lot of musical inspiration from that as well. So my overall entertainment is 4.6. It's a great, great series. It's a trilogy. And we talk about, greatest trilogies of all. Like this, this is at least in the top 10. I could see it in the top 5 if I haven't really thought about it too much. But it's a phenomenal trilogy that, works together, builds together, and tells a good story.
Yeah, it does for sure. Well, good. I'm looking forward to number 4.
Yeah. We get to see Rose. That's who the pink character was.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I can't remember if it was said. Did you watch the post-credit, or did you look it up?
No, I did know that character.
Okay.
Yeah. For some reason.
That is.
I guess. But.
She's once you get done with.
I didn't know Shadow.
You really?
No.
Oh, I loved it. We didn't talk about it when they did the Chaos Emerald stuff. Mm-hmm. When they got the emerald, and they both picked it up.
Yeah.
Their alternate colors look so good.
Yeah, it did.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting they knew Rose and not.
Yeah, I knew Rose somehow. I don't know why.
Shadow.
Yeah, no idea why.
What characters do you know in this universe now that we'll break the 4th wall?
Yeah, send us a comment.
Hammer the share button. Go ahead and hammer out a comment to us. Go ahead and hammer the like button. Go ahead and hammer the subscription button. Go ahead and hammer the notification bells, because you know what? That's the best way you can support us. We appreciate it.